Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hillbilly Think Tank with Spencer Keck here in Hardin County, Kentucky. Wow. Well, if I make it through December. Have you heard that song? A lot of us are going to be singing it. You know, I heard the song, used to love it, but now it actually brings more of a tear to my eye than I care to admit because there's a Grinch that is stealing our Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, you name it. Well, at the same time, this Grinch is giving $40 billion to Argentina to save them, if to save Argentina. As we said before, we're making Argentina great again. Also, we are buying all the beef from Argentina while still keeping tariffs on Brazilian beef, while most importantly, given the shaft to the American rancher and farmer who grow the most quality beef in the world. This is travesty. This Grinch is also giving every year $3.8 billion to Israel so they can pay their military and do whatever they want for their military. But are we paying our troops? Nope. Oh, someone's going to toss every soldier, sailor, airman, marine, and coast guard folk $100. You know, turns out that Carnegie Mellon Air, that was the mystery secret donor given a few $1,000,000. Yeah, that 130 million would only be enough for $100 per service member. That's not even going to buy food for a week for a family of 4 to 6, especially a military family. You know, because we like to be in shape and eat healthy and eat right. That's not cheap. What else is this Grinch stealing? Oh, yeah, SNAP benefits, food for the poor kids, because, kids, you don't need really, do you, to eat? No, we want to feed the folks in Brazil and Israel because we're going to give another $14.8 billion, according to Congress, to Israel. Oh, but we don't have any money for you, starving kids in America. You know? No, that sounds just jolly for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas and New Year's, right? Because they plan on taking this at least to January. President said he got all he wanted out of Congress. Doesn't need anything more. They don't need to come back to work till January. Wow. They're getting paid. Military's not getting paid. Federal workers aren't getting paid. I just went to see my healthcare provider, specialty clinic in the VA in Louisville today. And found out that my wonderful provider who spent 30, 45 minutes with me, even though that's not the allotted time, she made sure to take care of everything I needed, take care of the pain, help me figure out how to do some adjustments to my treatment so I can actually walk. And she's not getting her annual bonuses. Folks aren't getting their annual bonuses at the clinic that she works at. Does that really mean you care? Because these people work overtime to take care of me. She provided high quality care like none I've gotten in a long time. And we're going to give that person the shaft too. Not only not providing bonuses, but we're not going to be paying them. We got a shutdown. What does this say about our priorities when the Grinch can pay $40 billion? Let me just hammer it home one more time to Argentina, buy all the steaks and beef from Argentina. Because he said we had to save Argentina when Argentina has taken all of our soybean market. We used to sell all those soybeans to China. Now China's just buying from Argentina. So why did they need that bailout? Because that's a lot of money. You know, then again, we're given this year nearly $20 billion to Israel for free so they can provide health care for their folks. But hey, folks, again, at the VA, I was talking to the folks who are working there. Their premiums are going to go up $100. They're already looking at it and finding out at least $100 a month. Some of them are going to go up as much as 18,000 a year. And they provide health care for me. And yet they're not going to be able to afford their own. But we're providing it for Israel. They're getting their free health care for all their citizens. We're paying for it with that 14.8 billion extra Congress said we're going to give them, in addition to the 3.8 we give them for their military. Oh, but were you paying our military? Nope. I don't care what party you claim to be a part of, whether you're independent or whether you just try to stay out of this whole thing. Well, you know what? In democracy, it's not a spectator sport. It is an active participation engagement. If you don't write, call, go to the office of your congressman, you are not doing your patriotic duty. We've got to end this. American kids need to eat. American families don't need to have looting grocery stores or stealing bologna as something that's on their Christmas list, because most people on SNAP work full-time jobs. They just can't feed a family of four on minimum wage, 7.25 an hour. You can't pay your rent with that. You can't pay your utilities with that. You can't buy your kids clothes with that and buy healthy food with that. And we need healthy food. If you're not going to give them health care, should be all one together. You're a working man or woman in this country. You should not have to worry about your health care being paid for it or not. You should know I work, I am getting health care. I'm disabled, I'm getting health care. It should just be that way. We're the land of plenty. We have more billionaires than any other country in the world. And that's all because it's on our backs. We made them billionaires. We bought the products that they jammed down our throat, that we convince us we can't live without. The latest AI technology. Can't live without it. Got to buy it. Latest brand new phone. We all just can't live without it. Got to buy it. Big screen TV. Can't live without it. Got to buy it. But are they rewarding you for all that? Are they paying their fair share of taxes in order to fund your reward that you deserve for being an honest American, which is healthcare and food? No. But who is it that pays their people so little that they need to go on SNAP benefits? Walmart, go down the line. You can name some companies that all they think about is that bottom dollar. How cheap can they pay? How hard can they work their workers for next to no pay? And how little benefits can they give them? It shouldn't be that way. They should pay their taxes in proportion, and no American worker should have to worry about health care. No American worker should have to worry about, oh, they don't want to pay me a living wage, so I shouldn't have to worry about SNAP benefits for my kids come holidays, come birthdays, come any single day. Kids should not go without 3 hot meals a day in this land of plenty. You know, we didn't get to be this way out of laziness. We're not the laziest country in the world as people try to say we are. We wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for the working man and woman making us as prominent in this world as we are, regardless of what has been said. We are prominent. Are we diminishing? Yeah, it's because when you have a country as polite and kind as Canada is, if you ever traveled out of your own backyard, you'd find that out. You got people like that terrified now because there's a rambling idiot. The village idiot now has taken over control of the village, and he's saying he's going to go attack the neighboring village. And the neighboring village better become part of our village. They don't want to be the 51st state, either by force or by choice. And they are scared that we might actually go do it. We're attacking outboard boats. People don't know anything about, you know, outboard boats and outboard motors. They only have a limited range. You can't run from Venezuela all the way to Florida, Texas, or anywhere in the United States with an outboard motor. You've got to refuel frequently. So these so-called drug running boats, you know what? I was trained in the Navy to do boarding operations. And they're some of the most fun operations I ever had when it came to having to go interdict something. Nothing is easier than taking a Navy combatant vessel, pulling it right up near a small little boat like that, tell them to stop. If they don't, shoot some bullets over their bow. They'll come to a stop. When I say bullets, I mean cannonballs, basically. You shoot a Navy big gun over the top of a ship, it's going to stop. If you do it over the top of a little boat with an outboard motor, oh yeah, it's stopping. They're going to be pissing their pants, crapping their britches, and stopping. Then all it takes is a boarding team, like I was trained to do, to go over with our weapons and our big ship right alongside it. Yeah, with its big guns and missiles pointed right at that little boat. You go on board there, you actually search the vessel to see if it actually has these things you're claiming it does. You can't tell if it does unless you get people on board there. Get that team of 15 to 20 on that little boat that only has a crew of 2 to 5. Easy to find out if they're doing what you're saying they're doing. You don't just go killing people without giving them recourse to legal action. Man, no, I did, was part of my ship, did boarding operations in the first Persian Gulf War. We didn't just go blowing little civilian boats out of the water. We aborted them, and we didn't blow them out of the water. We found that they had some stolen material on there or contraband. We seized the vessel, took everyone that was on it, and sent them off to court, incarcerated them after a court proceeding. Oh, but now we are what? Just killing people and asking questions later? What happened to the American justice system being the best in the world? I remember reading Encyclopedia Britannica when I was young, reading about how Oh, there's this country called Mexico that used the old French system of you're guilty until proven innocent, and how the American system is so much better because in America, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty by a court of law and in a court of your peers as the jury. But now we've got one person that is judge, jury, and executioner. And Americans aren't worried? He's supposed to be the president that stops wars. Yet we're blowing people out of the water instead of doing the easiest job in the Navy, and the most fun job in the Navy. It's nothing more fun than having your big warship pull up alongside a little boat like that, getting your little boats off of your boats and zooming them over to the little boat. Everybody charges up little ladders and wire ladders and goes onto the boat, or maybe they even fly a helicopter over you, fast rope down with your rifle and ready to rock and roll if necessary. But usually, again, everybody's pissing their pants when even regular Navy sailors come over from a ship. But heck, you can do it with a SEAL team, with a MARSOC Raider team, with even a Coast Guard team. Coast Guard does this on a regular basis all the time. Boarding and seizure operations all the time. Boarding and search operations all the time. All of a sudden now, are we just killing people willy nilly? We don't stand for that when they do it to us. When our ships are traveling along and someone blows them up, heck, we start a full scale war. When the Maine blew up in Cuba, the USS Maine, we went to war over it. Accused Spain of blowing up our ship. Historians now realize it was probably the boiler on the ship was faulty and blew up in the harbor. Wasn't even Spain, but we went to war over it. It is a lot more sensible than blowing up people that don't have a chance to prove whether they're criminal or not. Again, this is all a distraction from the Epstein files. Complete distraction. The shutdown's a distraction from the Epstein files. Building a ballroom. The Grinch is building a ballroom while kids are going to go without food, while Americans aren't going to be able to pay for their health care. Grinch is still building his ballroom. Start off 200 million, then it went up to 250 million. Someone was telling me the other day, now it's up to 350 million, paid for by the oligarchs of America. Bezos, Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, all these guys that are buying our democracy out from underneath us, giving us that autocratic oligarchy. That's not, again, what I risked my life for from 1990 to 2014 when I was part of the greatest Navy in the world. Come on, folks. Got to do something. We can't be complacent while our democracy burns to the ground. Too many kids waking up empty stomachs. Too many Americans being grabbed by this police force, ICE. They're grabbing Americans, turns out. Plenty times now, we've had Americans grabbed, put in horrible conditions, released after many days, even weeks. Oh, sorry. Not sorry. No, that's not democracy. You are supposed to be in the greatest democracy in the world. Innocent until proven guilty, given access to a lawyer, court of your peers, jury of your peers. Oh man, what are we doing? We have a great constitution that guarantees us these rights, inalienable rights. Man, come on. We got to wake up. Christmas is coming. A new year is coming. We can't let the kids starve while our oligarchs dance in a gilded ballroom, while we invite over the leader of Argentina to give us a crazy chainsaw that little Musk gets to dance around with, like he's ever even used a chainsaw to cut trees down for firewood in his life. No, this is not the America that I grew up proud of, so proud of that at 18 years old, I said, I swear an allegiance to protecting the Constitution of the United States, and I'll put my life on the line for our Constitution because it's so amazing. Guarantee of First Amendment rights. Your right to petition your government for grievances, be addressed and redressed, to have the freedom to assemble peacefully, to have the right to worship or not worship in any way you want, the right to free speech, the right to a free press. Come on, folks. How many of these things have to go away in that First Amendment before we realize we've lost it all? We've lost everything I swore allegiance to. That allegiance that I swore, that oath that I took when I served in the military, when I was a federal employee, later after the military, I pledged my oath to my Constitution, not to my oligarchs, not to a president, whether Democrat or Republican. It was to the Constitution to protect U.S. citizens, farmers, steel workers, pipe fitters, welders, nurses, teachers, doctors, going down the line to the American worker. I swore that I would protect that Constitution that protected their right to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. Pursue it as they see fit, as individuals, as communities. No, no, no. That's not what we got going on. And you want to tell people, oh, you need to have more babies. That's what Musk tells us. And he's got that in the ear of the man at the top. We need more babies. Really? Really? We need to have more people getting pregnant and having babies to term when they won't be fed, when their delivery won't be paid for? Really? Where are our priorities so screwed up? When did we get rid of this idea of empathy being a blessing instead of a curse? I don't get it. For years, talked to friends, I said, oh, it's a lack of education. Oh, they blame it on education system. No, this is deeper than that. And I say that my first religion is education. But, I love me some Jesus, But boy, I really like expanding my intellect, being creative, helping those less fortunate than me get an education as I do every single day as a public school teacher. But it's not education, lack of education, that has destroyed empathy in America. It's our self centeredness, our only ability these days is to fight just for our tribe and our tribe only. Have no ability to put ourselves in the shoes of the other tribes, the other person. Never be able to say, oh, but for the grace of God, there go I when I see someone going through misfortune. And I know it's by grace that I'm living the life that I'm living, thanking my lucky stars every day that I'm a Kentuckian in some of the most beautiful scenery in the world, and some of those beautiful meadows, most beautiful hollers, most wonderful walnut trees, poplars, oaks, pines, you name it, mulberries. What a state I've got the fortune to live in. But why would I want to look down on someone else in my wonderful state, in my wonderful county? Why would I want to point a finger at the 5,000 families that need SNAP benefits in this wonderful county? Why would I point a finger at them and tell them, you should be working harder? Most of those SNAP benefits are going to kids. Those kids need to eat 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, not just 2 meals a day, the 5 days a week that they're at their public school. And that's what happens to a lot of them. No, we've got to care for all Americans all the time, right? Now, I've got empathy for my community and for communities that aren't even part of mine. Why can't we? Why can't you? Especially if you're going to tell me you're a Christian. Jesus was empathy personified. There is no more empathy in this world that you can point to that's stronger than a man saying, I will be the one willing to lay my life down for what I believe in. His message of taking care of the poor, the meek, the widow, the orphan, the least among us, as he preached. He said, their reward is the kingdom of heaven. Again, their reward is the kingdom of heaven. So it's harder for a rich man to pass through the gates of heaven than it is to try and shove a rope into the eye of a needle. Why do I say rope instead of camel? Because it turns out the translation from Hebrew, Aramaic, Latin to Greek on into English got mixed up. The metaphor was supposed to be it's easier to put a rope through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to pass through the gate of heaven. Now, he was talking about the lack of empathy that some of the rich have. Many of the rich have this lack of empathy. But heck, people that are barely even middle class in America have a lack of empathy. They're just barely making enough not to be on Snap. Don't even have empathy. They're the ones that'll post here in my comments, I bet today. Oh, it's their fault that they don't have them some food. It's their fault they don't got a good job. We don't need any of that commie shit. Well, I'm sorry. My Jesus told me if I had two coats, I better give one away to someone who needed it. I had two cloaks, I better give one away to someone who needed it. Man, that's some socialist crap right there. I can go on down the line the times he said not to hoard wealth, but to pass it on. But now, somewhere in the last, was it 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? When was this turning point? I've been seeing it coming. You know, people tell me it's the dumbing down of the nation. Maybe, but I know some people that aren't intellectual superstars, but they got a lot of empathy. They'll give you the shirt off their back and make sure that they do whatever they can to make sure their government feeds the poor. They'll do that. They're not intellectual giants, yet they have empathy. So I know it's not the dumbing down America that's the only reason, if it's any reason at all, for us lacking this empathy and being willing to watch our neighbors starve, to watch our neighbors die of cancer without treatment, to watch our neighbors' kids die of leukemia without treatment. And they deserve it. Right. It's not a right, it's a privilege. You got to earn it. The American who works an honest job earns it. Any American who is disabled earned it. They're human. It's an inalienable right to live and pursue happiness. Now, government's not going to guarantee you your happiness, but they're going to guarantee that you're not going to be mistreated while you're trying to pursue it in your way. Okay, y'all. Hopefully, you agree with me. Let's vote for some empathy. All right, start with me. Vote for me for District 3 Magistrate in Hardin County. Then, after you do that, look up and down the line. I have a talk here every Sunday with somebody who's got a lot of empathy. You know his name. If you don't, go back and look at our Sunday videos. He's running for Congress here in this part of Kentucky. He's going to push out the person who has no empathy. And his name is Dakota. William, his first name, middle name Dakota, like me, he goes by his middle name. Compton's his last name. Vote for him. Because he and I, we love our neighbors just as much as we love ourselves. And we don't want our neighbors to starve. We don't want our neighbors to die from diseases that could have been treated and prevented by having quality access to quality health care. We also recognize we are a brother's keeper, we're a sister's keeper. Y'all have a great day. Bless your heart.